Okay, welcome to my Project 1 of CECS 174. So the first thing we have is inputs that we have to do for the user to use. So the first one we have is a current time input. So we use integer because the user has to put a number in, and the input is what is the current time in hours. When we do this, what is the current time in hours, the one in green, is going to show up to the user, and he or she's going to put in a number of what the current time is. The next we have the same, but this time we have the waited time. So how many hours does the person want to wait? And it's the same thing, the integer because the user has to put a number in, and then it will show up how many hours you want to wait to the user. So he or she puts in the number of hours she wants to wait, or he wants to wait, and then it does the calculations of the waited time or the hours the user wants to wait, and it divides that by 24. There's two slashes, meaning that you divide it, but since you have two slashes, it doesn't have a remainder. And yeah, and we also divided by 24 because we are basing it off the 24-hour clock. So once it's 12, it still goes all the way up to 24, and once it's 24, it goes back to 0. So that's a 24-hour clock. And once it's calculated, um, we go to and it goes to HC. Then we put that and we add that together to the CT, which is the current time. The first thing we put up on that the user put. And once you add the current time plus the hours calculated, it gives us the final time, which is what time the alarm will go off at. And when we do that, we print out the alarm will go off at. This is what the user will see, and then the final time, which is the hours calculated after everything, and it will project out the time that the alarm will go off at. Alright, so this is an example of what will happen when we run it. And what is the current time in hours? This is shown right here. This is our first input. This is what the user will see, and the user will put an integer number, which we are going to use 13. That is the current hour. And then next, when we enter, it will show how many hours do you want to wait. This is the second input that we did, and the user will see this and put in a number. So we're going to use 50. We want to wait 50 hours, and it does the calculations as shown. And the final result, the output, it will show off. The alarm will go off at 15. So we printed the alarm will go off at 15 or go off at, and then 15, and that is the final answer. So if we have the current time at 13 and we want to wait 50 hours, the alarm will go off at 15 hours.